Part 25. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, She Yet. Chapter 241. What secret? Ren was curious. Liang Xiao pointed at the photos above. Some of the photos above were taken in your dormitory, and some were taken when you were studying. The people who could take these photos must be people around you. This is not the point. The point is that the people behind you are using you to lure rich men. Based on my observations over the past few days, I found that it is not just Kuining. The last sentence is the key point. How do you know it is not just Kuining? Ren looked calm. Liang Xiao said slowly, didn't I say before that I got the chat records between Kuining and you? I naturally wanted to check if that person was you. Originally I wasn't sure so quickly, but I saw that person was chatting with Kuining during the time we were having dinner that day. I thought about it carefully. That day your phone was on the table and you didn't take it the whole time. Where did that chat record come from? After noticing this time, I realized that the person hiding behind Kuining was not you, but someone else. I am a curious person, so I wanted to find out who was hiding behind. After that, I started to study those chat records, and naturally noticed those photos, and deduced that the person hiding behind was by your side, so I started to follow you. As a result, I really found some clues. At this point, Liang Xiao showed a smug smile on his face. Ren smiled and motioned him to continue. He should have found more than that. Have you noticed that you've received a lot of love letters recently? Ren raised her eyebrows and looked at him with admiration. Yes, there are a lot. The boy who ran to you to give you a love letter 2 days ago was stopped by me afterwards. In fact, I just wanted to tell him that you are a liar who plays with feelings. As a result, he told me that the love letter was sent on behalf of his roommate. His roommate is very shy and has never dared to send love letters. During this period, the so-called you has been hinting that he should write a love letter. The other party wrote it, but did not dare to send it. The so-called you, seeing that he was slow to send it, became cold to him. The innocent brother was afraid that you would completely ignore him, so he could only ask his roommate for help. The shy young man paid for breakfast for a month for this. From the clues we have obtained so far, it can be basically concluded that someone is behind you, using your name to hook up with several people at the same time. I have not found out how many there are. But one thing is certain, the person who can get your private photos must be someone around you. Ren, you must be careful of your roommates. Oh, by the way, that Yu Mian can be ruled out. This person can't do that kind of thing at first glance, Liang Xiao added. If Yu Mian knew this, she wouldn't know whether to be happy or angry. He said so much, but was the expression of the person on the other side too calm? Liang Xiao suddenly widened his eyes. Have you guessed it? Ren nodded. Liang Xiao was surprised. How did you know? He had the chat records between Kuining and that person, but she didn't. Did she suspect that the person had hooked up with many people just because she received so many love letters? Impossible. With her looks and family background, it was normal for her to receive love letters, and it would be abnormal if she didn't. Is there something else that she didn't notice? What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, She Yet. Chapter 242. However, Ren's answer shattered his suspicions. It's very simple. It's just a love letter. Facing Liang Xiao's confused look, Ren smiled and said, I can see the clues in the content of the love letter. If you don't even look at it in front of others, or even throw it away, read it carefully behind your back. After reading it, you will naturally find it unusual. With Kuining's incident, how could she despise everything that happened around her, even if those things were normal to her? Liang Xiao raised a thumbs up and said, Awesome, I underestimated you. Originally I was worried that you would suffer a loss, but now it seems that you cannot suffer a loss. I've suffered too much, I'm afraid. Ren Ran smiled. Liang Xiao looked unbelieving, but looking at her expression, it didn't look like she was telling lies. I want to tell Kuining, is that okay? In addition to giving her this, I came here today for this very reason. Ren Ran shook his head, not yet. I want to find out who is behind the scenes. If I tell him in advance, it is likely to alert the snake. Once the other party hides, it will be difficult for me to catch her. Liang Xiao thought about it and it was right. Then I will help you hide it for now, and you can find out that person as soon as possible. If you need my help in any way, just tell me. Okay. The two separated. In front of the library, Ren Ran walked towards Zhang Ziyu and took her arm affectionately. Jiayu, let's go, Taoist Master Qingxian is waiting for us. Zhang Ziyu smiled and said, wait a moment, Mian said he wants to follow us. I'll make a phone call to urge you. Ren Ran dialed Yu Mian's number in front of her. After saying a few words, he hung up the phone and turned to Zhang Ziyu and said, Mian was asked to leave by the instructor and can't come. Ah. That's it? Then let's go. Ren Ran happily dragged her away. On the other side, Yu Mian came out of his tutor's office and met 11 Yun as soon as he left the teaching building. Mian. Xiaoun. Come with me to buy some fruit outside. I still want to go back to the dormitory to review. 11 Yun couldn't help but put his hands on her and walked forward, while Yu Mian dragged her away. Do you want to intercede for Ren Ran? Yu Mian spoke first. 11 Yun looked at her in surprise. Why should I intercede for her? Yu Mian just breathed a sigh of relief, but the next second he heard. She has never done anything to feel sorry for you. Yu Mian's eyes widened. 11 Yun, you are very smart. Didn't you see that Ren Ran deliberately stuffed that love letter into my book, deliberately trying to make me look embarrassed? She angrily pulled her hand out of her arm. 11 Yun just looked at her quietly, which made her very uncomfortable. Did I say it wrong? I'm just going to ask you 2 questions. Why did she do this? What's the benefit to her? Answer these 2 questions. 11 Yun didn't know how Zhang Ziyu brainwashed her into being like this. Isn't it just that I want to show off my charm? Does bullying need a reason? Does bullying need a reason? If everything needed a reason, there wouldn't be so many bullies. 11 Yun took a deep breath and resisted the urge to pry open her brain. Do you still remember what I told you before? Don't get involved between Ren Ran and Zhang Ziyu. As far as we are concerned, we are in the same heaven and earth. She continued, you are being taken advantage of, do you know that? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, She Yet. Chapter 243. 11 June patiently analyzed with her. When something happens, whoever benefits the most in the end is most likely to be the murderer. Use this point of view to re-examine what happened this time. Think carefully about every word they said and everything they did. Yu Mian was unwilling and even resisted. 11 Jun's face also turned cold. Don't you realize that you are very hostile to me and Ren Ran now, but you are very close to Zhang Ziyu. If you get close to her, you won't know how you will die. Don't think I'm exaggerating. Think about it yourself. From the beginning to the end, what role did Zhang Ziyu play in this matter? Forget it. As a classmate and roommate, I can remind you once, twice, but after 3 times, there will be no future. Similarly, you are standing in that position now. Once you touch Ren Ran's interests, don't blame Ren Ran for taking action against you. After speaking, 11 June left without looking back, leaving Yu Mian standing there in a daze. Why did it become like this? They were all fine. Yumian squatted down dejectedly, covering her face with her hands. Her mind was a mess. Ever since the conversation on Thursday, Yumian has been very strange and doesn't get close to any of them. Even though Zhang Ziyu showed her goodwill several times, she seemed to be deaf to it. What's wrong with Mian? Zhang Ziyu looked at Yumian's back with a worried look. Ren sighed, the campus network is spreading that thing. Even if we find someone to delete the post, everyone in the department knows it. Alas, Zhang Ziyu sighed, but the corner of his eyes swept over her and 11 Yun. In the lecture hall, the four sat in the last row. I'm going home tonight, so I won't go to Sanking Temple with you tomorrow. Okay. I'll take them two together. Then see you tomorrow. After class, Zhang Ziyu left happily. The next day, the three of them went to Sanking Temple on the outskirts of the capital, which is located near Xiangshan Park. The three people in the car were silent. The dull atmosphere made the driver look back frequently. The driver couldn't help but make small talk because of the atmosphere in the car. Most people don't know the place you went to. Why don't you go to Xiangshan Park to climb the mountain? Why do you want to go there? 11 Yun smiled and said, I've been to Xiangshan, but not there. The driver started asking again. Occasionally, Ren would say something. Only Yumian remained silent, looking at the scenery outside the window. The car stopped at the foot of a mountain. The driver said to the three people, the Taoist temple is halfway up the mountain. You can see it when you climb up. Thank you, master. The three people started climbing the mountain. Just halfway up, thick smoke rose from the halfway up the mountain. What's going on? Is it on fire? 11 Yun looked at the halfway up the mountain in doubt. It must be on fire. Let's go down the mountain quickly. Yumian pulled 11 Yun and was about to go down the mountain. Ren looked at the location of the fire, which was clearly the location of the Taoist temple. Ren, where are you going? Yumian saw her running up the mountain and shouted. I want to go up. Ren left this sentence and ran up the mountain. 11 Yun stopped, looked up, and then looked at the way down the mountain. I'll go and see too, in case I can help. With that, 11 Yun followed up the mountain. Yumian watched the two people rushing up regardless of anything, and was angry and anxious. Are these two people going to die? What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, Mo she mo yet. Chapter 244. Yumian was stunned for a few seconds, gritted his teeth, and rushed up the mountain. These crazy people. Once the mountain fire starts, people will really die. Yumian thought about the danger while chasing after the two. Ren arrived at Sanking Temple first. The Taoist temple was already in flames, and many Taoists at the door were trying to put out the fire. She looked around and didn't see Qingxian, let alone Su Zaiyin and others. She pulled out one of the Taoists. Are Taoist Qingxian and others still inside? I don't know. The Taoist hurriedly replied and immediately went to fetch water to put out the fire. They couldn't leave Sanking Temple today. They must still be inside. Something must have happened, so they couldn't get out. They have to be saved. Ren looked around and hurriedly walked towards the ancient well outside the courtyard. He took the bucket from the person next to him and poured a bucket of water all over himself. Seeing the thin blanket on 11 Yun, borrow it? 11 Yun saw that she wet the thin blanket and realized what she was going to do. Are you crazy? 11 Yun grabbed her. Yumian, who was a little slow to react, followed and stood in front of her. You will die if you go in now. If you stop me again, it will really be a dead end if you go in later. Don't worry, I will come out soon if the situation is not right. Ren ran past Yumian and rushed into the Taoist temple. A Taoist noticed and hurriedly shouted, "Don't go in, it's dangerous." Ren did not stop and rushed into the fire without hesitation. The flames around him, the scorching air, accompanied by billowing smoke, were in the fire, and he felt hot all over and had difficulty breathing. Ren Ran endured the discomfort and went to the room where Qing Xian was according to his memory. Qing Xian, Qing Xian. While searching, Ren Ran shouted, also telling them that he was here. The closer to the location, the more fierce the fire was. There was a circle of flames in front of them, and they couldn't cross it at all. How to get in? Ren Ran's mind was spinning rapidly, and she kept telling herself in her heart to stay calm. In these few seconds, Ren Ran felt that the protection on her body was becoming less and less effective. No, she couldn't delay any longer, otherwise she would have to go in. When she stepped forward and prepared to rush over, suddenly, a hand grabbed her ankle. She was so scared that her hair stood on end. Ren, Ran. A hoarse voice came from underground. Ren Ran looked down and was very happy when she saw Qing Xian. She noticed that his body was pressed by a table, and there were already flames on it. Qing Xian alone couldn't move it at all. If he didn't go in, his fate would be death. Ren Ran used the greatest strength of his life and gritted his teeth to move the heavy table away. After moving it away, Ren Ran ignored the fatigue in her body and the pain in her hands, half carried him and walked out. As soon as she came out, the people who were anxiously waiting outside rushed forward. Qing Xian said with a hoarse voice, "There are people inside." Ren Ran handed Qing Xian to others, and she rushed to the water tank again, and once again drenched herself. Ren Ran, don't go. At this time, a tall figure held Ren Ran down. Little girl, don't go. Let me do it, I'm a firefighter. I'll go with you. No need, the man pointed to the back, and there were several tall, young firefighters standing behind him. With professional personnel, Ren Ran breathed a sigh of relief and begged, "Uncle Firefighter, you must rescue the people inside, please." The other party gave her an okay sign. The firefighter changed his clothes and rushed into the sea of fire. Ren Ran waited anxiously, and people were rescued one after another, and these people suffered varying degrees of burns. Qing Xian calmed down, took a look at the number of people, and his face turned ugly. He rushed towards the firefighter with unsteady steps and said anxiously, "There is another person inside. He should be in the innermost room. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her." Author, Mo She Mo Yet. Chapter 245. The fire was put out, and the last person was brought out, but when he was brought out, he was already dead. Qing Xian stood beside him, his whole body exuding a depressed aura, and he was stunned. Ren Ran sighed heavily in his heart. 11 June and Yu Mian watched silently, and the Taoist priests and firefighters around them were also silent. What's going on here? Suddenly, a sweet voice broke the sadness in the air. Ren Ran's tense nerve was breaking every inch, but at the last moment, it stopped. She kept telling herself in her heart that she must endure it. A small leak will sink a great ship. We all understand the truth, but to really do this, we must use all our strength and reason to suppress the anger and the urge to tear people apart in our hearts. The moment Zhang Ziyu appeared, not only Ren Ran was shocked, but also Qing Xian and others, as well as 11 June and Yu Mian. King Xuan's eyes were slightly lowered, and when he looked at Zhang Ziyu, his expression was clear and he saluted, "Miss Zhang, there is an emergency today and it is not appropriate to do anything. Let's change it another day." Zhang Ziyu waved his hand, with a hint of lightness in his sweet voice, "No need, master. Look, you have already accepted the tribulation for me." When Qing Xian was about to lose control, his shoulders sank, and Ren Ran's voice sounded in his ears. "Calm down. Get out of her way." 11 June looked at Ren Ran, then at Zhang Ziyu, who had a slightly raised brow, and then his eyes fell on the stretcher covered with white cloth, a chill rising from the soles of his feet. Yu Mian noticed that 11 Yun looked wrong. "What's wrong?" Are you okay? It's okay, 11 Yoon replied, pretending to be relaxed. Yumian didn't believe a word of it. Qingxian bowed to Zhang Ziyu, turned and left. The rescued people were sent down the mountain for treatment. The other person was covered with white cloth and carried down the mountain. Zhang Ziyu walked towards 11 Yoon and the two of them, let's go back together. 11 June said with a smile, I want to go for a walk in Xiangshan to relax my mood. As she spoke, she subconsciously squeezed Yumian's hand. Yumian felt it and said, I also want to go to Xiangshan. Jiyu, do you want to go? She glanced at Zhang Ziyu, who was followed by a large group of people. What fun is there in Xiangshan? Climbing the mountain is exhausting. That is. Her friend grumbled disapprovingly. Zhang Ziyu smiled and said, we won't go. Are you having fun? She stared at 11 Yoon for 2 seconds, then turned to look at Ren Ren with a smile. Of course, do you want to go back with me or go climbing the mountain? I'm not interested in climbing mountains. Ren Ren left with Zhang Ziyu and his party. Zhang Ziyu's friends are all from the same class. For people from a small place like Ren Ren, even if their family has some money, in their eyes, they are not in the upper class and are only slightly better than those outside. Of course, these people will not show disdain for you or say other bad things to you on the surface. Being polite to you does not mean respecting you or thinking highly of you. Young fish, it's a good thing you came late, otherwise we would have suffered. Don't tell me, maybe the calamity was really blocked by the Taoist priest. He can help you avoid disaster, which is considered his blessing. Zhang Ziyu smiled and didn't say anything, let alone refute. Ren Ran listened quietly, without refuting them, let alone roaring angrily. Being incompetent and angry will only make others laugh at you and will not achieve any effect. On the other side, 11 Yoon and Yumian were standing at the gate of Xiangshan. She did not go in, but took Yumian to find a resting place and sat down. She was like a deflated ball. What's wrong with you? Yumian was puzzled. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, Mo She Mo Yet. Chapter 246. Yumian stepped forward and held her hand, and was surprised to find that her hand was unusually cold. Are you feeling uncomfortable somewhere? No. Let me take a moment. 11 Yoon ignored her, lowered his head and covered his eyes with his hands. Yumian waited obediently, glanced at the small pavilion opposite, got up and bought 2 bottles of water, and handed one of them to her. 11 June took it and took a sip. After a while, he seemed to calm down and grabbed Yumian's hand. They are crazy, Zhang Ziyu is crazy. What do you mean? Yumian was confused. 11 Yoon held Yumian's hand, do you believe me? She nodded. 11 Yoon took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, do you think this fire was an accident, or was it deliberately set on fire? She suddenly opened her eyes wide, you mean someone deliberately set the fire? Could that person be Zhang Ziyu? 11 Yoon nodded. No, it can't be. Yumian couldn't believe it. That was killing people. How dare she do that? While she was still in shock, 11 Yun's next words almost made her jump. Do you know why she did it? She is provoking Ren Ran, no, more accurately, teasing Ren Ran, and at the same time she is beating us up. She wants to tell us that if we don't know what's right, we'll be like ants crushed to death. Because of seeing through this relationship and seeing the person covered with white cloth, 11 Yun's values and beliefs for more than 10 years were hit and challenged like never before at this moment. Is this a powerful person? Nowadays, everyone is shouting for social equality, and everyone is shouting for equality before the law. But is it really equal? When they saw the powerful being judged, everyone was delighted and felt that the Holy Spirit of law was inviolable. However, there are probably more people who do evil but will not be punished. Perhaps, they only saw a small part of the evil that was exposed, and more was hidden under the mask of hypocrisy. Could it be that you're overthinking it? When she said this, her confidence was obviously lacking. Let me ask you, what kind of person do you think Zhang Ziyu is? Even such a cautious and careful person did not dare to relax for a moment in front of Zhang Ziyu, which shows that Zhang Ziyu is not someone to be trifled with. Whether it's connections, family background. Yumian was silent. Then let's stay away from them. If we can't afford to offend them, why can't we hide from them? Yumian muttered unconvinced. 11 Yun looked at the somewhat naive Yumian and said, Zhang Ziyu will not allow it. She wants us to be her knives, so how can she allow the tool man to escape her control? Yumian's face turned pale with fright, and he gritted his teeth. In the worst case, I'll take a break from school for a year and a half. 11 Yun sneered, suspension of school? If she is kind-hearted, maybe she will just think that we are nothing and just let it go. If she is unhappy, the result will be like this fire. It will be easy for her to deal with us. Then what should we do? Yumian turned pale with fright. In fact, 11 Yun had already tasted it. Zhang Ziyu originally wanted to use her own means to make them the knives in her hands to show her high IQ, and perhaps also enjoy the pleasure of teasing and controlling others. But it's a pity that they were very unreasonable and did not let her succeed. Now she was impatient to use this method and resorted to the most primitive and brutal method. How could she not understand the way Zhang Ziyu looked at her before leaving? She forced herself to take sides. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, She Yet. Chapter 247. This is forcing us to take sides. No, that's not right. It should be said that we have to stand on her side and do things for her. At this moment, Yumian no longer had any good feelings or trust for Zhang Ziyu. How can she be so cruel and domineering? Is there any law in the world? Angry, except angry, there is nothing she can do. She suddenly thought of something. How about we help them to make peace? Isn't that all right? They haven't had a quarrel, why don't they get along? In the end, Yumian felt wronged and felt that she was in big trouble. It's impossible to make peace. Then do we really have to follow Zhang Ziyu and deal with Ren Ran together? A good bird chooses a tree to live in. It is understandable to choose the strong side, but every time she thought of standing on the side of Zhang Ziyu, she felt uncomfortable. The longer she spent with Zhang Ziyu, the more she was afraid of that person. In her eyes, there is no fear of the law, and there is a sense of pride in her bones. No matter how gentle she appears, she still can't cover up the contempt for them in her bones. Standing on the same boat with such people, she is worried that Zhang Ziyu is not just using them as knives. She doesn't want to think so badly of people, but she is the only child in the family, and she doesn't want to let her family be destroyed because of these people. I haven't thought about it. 11 Yun has a headache. They both sighed at the same time. People who should be worried about their studies are now worried about other things and their hair is almost falling off. On the other side, after Ren Ran separated from Zhang Ziyu and others, she went to the hospital in a low-key manner. As soon as she arrived at the hospital, Gao Ying and others were already in the ward. Qing Xian, who was lying on the bed, had tears in his eyes for the first time when he saw Ren Ran. I'm sorry. They were obviously very careful and prepared various countermeasures, but they were still caught. Gao Ying was already on the way here and told Ren Ran about the situation in the Taoist temple at that time. This was originally a show, the purpose was to lure Zhang Ziyu to make trouble. They had made preparations in all aspects, and secretly arranged people. As long as the other party took action, they would have the opportunity to follow the clues and find the person who worked for Zhang Ziyu. As long as they could find the person who worked for Zhang Ziyu, they could investigate that person and monitor that person, then they could take the initiative and not be too passive, and even set a trap for Zhang Ziyu in advance. However, the result was, she took action, and they were completely wiped out. Zhang Ziyu's intention was self-evident. Gao Ying and others were all smart people, and naturally understood Zhang Ziyu's intention. She was telling the young lady that there was no need to waste her energy, and it was as easy to crush you as to crush an ant. If she was in a good mood, she would just play with her. If she was in a bad mood, you would have no choice but to die. The little princess of the Beijing circle was so arrogant, and she had the capital to be so arrogant. Hate. Of course she hated. But no matter how much she hated, she could not change her status. Facing King Xuan's apology, Ren Ran shook his head. This is not your fault. No one can guarantee that everything will go as we want. They are not the only smart people. If you think you can control and predict everything, you are either arrogant or presumptuous. If you can really control everything, you are not a human, but a god. We are all ordinary people. It is not scary to fall, but it is scary to never get up. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, Mo She Mo Yet. Chapter 248. Ren Ran looked at Gao Ying and said, the family of the deceased must be well settled, and don't be stingy with the remuneration. In addition, what are the results of the investigation by the relevant departments? The accident is still being determined, so don't hold out too much hope, young lady. In the capital city, Ren Ran naturally doesn't have high hopes. He naively thinks that he can dig out the mastermind behind the scenes. The best result is an accident. Just be afraid. You have to keep an eye on this side and don't let them have the opportunity to pour dirty water on Qing Xian and others and let them take the blame. Gao Ying's heart tightened. This operation was entirely possible. If Qing Xian is ultimately found to have deliberately set the fire, he will have to spend at least several years in jail for this crime. I'll make arrangements right away. Be prepared for the worst. Okay. Gao Ying left in a hurry, with a solemn expression. Su Zheyin sighed, it would be nice if she wasn't the little princess of Beijing. Qing Xian couldn't help but sigh, it would be great if we knew her birth date. In fact, they had calculated Zhang Ziyu's birthday based on the lunar calendar day, plus her age, and calculated the horoscopes at each hour, but the final result was that no matter which hour it was, they couldn't match it. Very bad fate. There is only one possibility for such a result, and that is that her birthday was celebrated early. Su Zheyin muttered, it stands to reason that the little princess's fate should be good. Does it really correspond to the fate of being rich in the first 20 years and lonely and helpless in the second half of her life? According to this direction, it is can't we say that the Zhang family will fall in the near future, so her fate will be bad. Otherwise, as long as the Zhang family is here, her fate will not be too bad. But if that's the case, the Zhang family should be very active in changing their fate. Zhang Xingzhou doesn't know about it, but I can't guarantee that all the Zhang family's parents know about it. If we can get into this situation this time, maybe someone from the head of the Zhang family is responsible. They have many conjectures, which are just conjectures and have no basis. Well, it's all my fault that I can't find any useful clues. However, don't worry, I have found a local snake in the capital. He has a wide network of contacts. I can ask him for help. This is the first time Su Zheyin suffered a setback in his career. Before he came here, he vowed that there was nothing he couldn't handle. If he couldn't handle it, it must be because he didn't have enough money. Now, it's nothing. It's not a question of money, but power. No wonder everyone says that being in the capital is not about whether you have money, but whether you have power. Ren Ran received a text message from his grandfather. Ren Hungruo, if you encounter any difficulties in the capital, you can find an uncle. Uncle Su has some connections in the capital and may be able to help you. This is his contact information, Su Changming, 138XXXXXX. This text message was like a shot in the arm, giving her a glimmer of hope amid despair and a sense of powerlessness. Ren Ran, thank you, Grandpa. Just after sending the text message, Fu Yan's call came in. Ren Ran got up and walked to the window. Hello. I've got what you want, including the birthday horoscope you want. Really? Ren Ran was overjoyed. Of course. Where are you now? Make an appointment to meet. Just today, she glanced at the time, we'll meet at a coffee shop at 3:30. Good. After hanging up the phone, Ren Ran said to the two of them, you two are here waiting for my good news. Maybe, after this time, we don't have to be so passive. Real. They were both pleasantly surprised. Go quickly. Su Zaiyin pushed her out directly, urging her to leave quickly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, Mo She Mo Yet. Chapter 249. When she arrived at a coffee shop, Fu Yan had not arrived yet. She chose a private room on the second floor and sent the location to her. About 10 minutes later, the door of the private room was pushed open and the waiter led Fu Yan into the room. Since the competition, Ren Ran has not seen Fu Yan. It is said that he was taken back by his family and the teachers do not know his situation. Half a year later, when she saw Fu Yan again, he became much more mature, his eyes were sharper than before, and he had a sharpness of a sword that had not been unsheathed. What would you like to drink? Fu Yan directly picked up the teapot on the table, poured a cup of tea, and took a sip. No, this is enough. Knowing that she was anxious, Fu Yan directly handed a file bag to her. The file was very thick, and it was obvious that there were a lot of things in it. When Ren Ran looked at the things inside, he realized that it was not thick at all, but too heavy. The information about Zhang Ziyu was so comprehensive that Ren Ran was shocked. Fu Yan drank tea, played with his phone, and occasionally glanced at the person opposite him. His long neck was white and smooth, and his eyes were focused when he lowered his eyebrows. This posture was quite good looking. He commented in his heart and took a few more sips of the teacup. Ren Ran turned the pages one by one, and when he saw the content recorded on one of the pages, his eyes widened slightly. Zhang Ziyu is actually the adopted daughter of the Zhang family. This news was too shocking. This news was good news for her. Only people from a few major families knew about this matter. After so many years, many people probably forgot about it, not to mention the outside world. If the Zhang family didn't say it, no one would deliberately mention it. Zhang Ziyu was so favored in the Zhang family that who would doubt that she was just the adopted daughter of the Zhang family. Fu Yan said in a deep voice, if she didn't have a good father, she wouldn't be qualified to enter the Zhang family. Zhang Ziyu's father and the current head of the Zhang family were superiors and subordinates. When they went to the border to do a mission together, they encountered danger on the way. Zhang Ziyu's father blocked a fatal blow for the current head of the Zhang family, and Zhang Ziyu's father died. When Zhang Ziyu's father died, Zhang Ziyu was less than 2 months old. At that time, Zhang Ziyu's mother was driven out by her parents-in-law. Her mother brought her daughter to the Zhang family. Seeing that the mother and daughter were pitiful, the Zhang family kept them to take care of them. When Zhang Ziyu was 1 year old, Zhang Ziyu's mother ran away with someone and left Zhang Ziyu in the Zhang family. The Zhang family felt sorry for her because she had no father or mother, so they adopted her directly. Zhang Ziyu became a child of the Zhang family. Ren Ran looked at the relationship network of Zhang Ziyu's biological parents in the information, and his eyes were fixed on a name. He Yuchen. He Yuchen is actually Zhang Ziyu's cousin. Fu Yan looked at her surprised expression. Are you a fan of He Yuchen? Oh, how is that possible? Seeing her dislike for He Yuchen, Fu Yan smiled. This guy is a little smart, he knows who to offend and who not to offend. In recent years, relying on the relationship with the Zhang family, he has established a firm foothold in the Beijing circle and is the object of many people's flattery. Others don't know what He Yuchen is, but Fu Yan knows it best. Many people will subconsciously think that He Yuchen is a relative of the Zhang family when they see Zhang Ziyu calling him cousin. Who would know that he has nothing to do with the Zhang family at all? He Yuchen is not too stupid, he will judge the situation and take advantage of the Zhang family's power to bully others. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, Mo She Mo Yet. Chapter 250. Ren Ran focused his attention on Zhang Ziyu's mother. Since Zhang Ziyu and He Yuchen have a good relationship, it seems that Zhang Ziyu must be in contact with her biological mother, and the relationship should not be too bad. After reading the above content, my suspicion was confirmed. The information showed that Zhang Ziyu had been in contact with her biological mother as early as 8 years ago, and the two had been in contact over the past few years. Zhang Ziyu's mother's name is Wang Jinghua. With the help of Zhang Ziyu, Wang Jinghua opened a company, followed the Zhang family to invest in several potential companies, and was worth more than $1 billion. Ren Ran continued to look down, and when she saw Wang Jinghua's lover, she caught her attention. Wang Jinghua's lover, named Zhu Ziqiang, had been involved in gangs. After spending several years in prison, he opened a security company after being released. Although this person is not married to Wang Jinghua, the relationship between the two lovers has been maintained for several years and has never been broken. Wish you self-improvement. Ren Ran silently wrote down the name in his mind. Continue reading, and after a while, he closed the information. This information can be said to be very comprehensive, and the huge network of relationships behind Zhang Ziyu is clearly listed. Fu Yanning was able to collect such comprehensive information in such a short period of time. The power behind him once again refreshed the understanding of him. I thought it was not simple before, but now it seems that it is not simple at all. It is very, very, very not simple. Thanks. With this piece of information, when facing Shang Zhangjuyu, they no longer know everything with a blind eye. They can even set traps for the opponent in a targeted manner, so that they will not be in a passive defensive state all the time. You don't have to be so polite. This is to redeem the promise made last time. No matter what, thank you. This information was too important to her. Fu Yan waved his hands nonchalantly and stood up. I still have something to do, so let's take a step first. Good. Ren Ran sent him to the door and watched him get into a Hummer. It wasn't until the car completely disappeared into the traffic that she looked back and returned to the hospital with her things. As soon as she returned to the hospital, she met the concerned eyes of Qing Xian and Su Zaiyin. Gao Ying returned as soon as she got the news. There's good stuff. Gao Ying took the information bag, and Su Zaiyin came forward. The two of them looked through it together, page after page, until they were finished. Gao Ying was surprised and happy. Su Zaiyin looked impressed. Little miss, the person who collected this information does not look like the work of a private detective, but more like the work of a regular department. He looked at Ren Ran. If I knew you had this relationship, I wouldn't dare to take over your job. While the two were chatting, Qing Xian also read through the information. What do you think? Ren Ran asked. We have a chance. Yes, we have a chance to fight back. Qing Xian pinched his fingers and began to calculate Zhang Ziyu's fate. I see, he murmured. The three of them looked at him. Qing Xian said slowly, Her fate is very fierce. Although there will be twists and turns in the early stage, but with the suppression of nobility, there won't be any big problems. But once she passes the age of 20, she will be plagued by bad luck. Neither the talisman nor the nobility of the people around her can suppress her final fate, early death. Su Zheyin said, she has been able to live safely until now, which shows that the Zhang family has a good life. Do you think Zhang Ziyu's mother knew about it from the beginning, or did she save her daughter's life by some mistake?